In this video, I'll focus on confirmations from different trading setups and also, very importantly, on seeing the big picture using long-term volume profiles. In this case, those will be the weekly fixed volume profiles, which will confirm the trading setups we will have and which will basically show us how the big players see the market from the long-term point of view. So before you, this is the Euro-Dollar 30-minute chart. It's my favorite market. Volume-based strategies work very nicely on this market. So let's get to it. Let's have a look at some trading examples. Let's zoom the chart a bit. As I said, those profiles you can see in here or in here, those are fixed weekly profiles. They show us how the volumes were distributed throughout the whole week. Every week a new profile gets printed. Alright? So in this case, if you look at this buying activity right here, then you can see that there is a significant volume cluster right here. This is the trend setup. And as a confirmation of this trend setup, there are also those rejections of this general trading level, of this general area. So those rejections, which indicate that this zone was a resistance, now work as a support. The resistance became a support. So here is a confluence of resistance becoming support setup combined with the trend setup, this volume cluster created within this buying activity. Also, as the time was progressing, the volume profile throughout the week looked like this. The week wasn't completed yet, so those volumes still weren't there. Also, those volumes still weren't there. But this volume cluster was also visible on this weekly profile, which was forming by that time. Alright, so there was a volume cluster nicely visible on the weekly profile. Right here on the flexible profile, we had those rejections marking resistance becoming support setup, and all this at this level. As you can see, those are multiple confirmations of this level, and you can also see how nicely the level worked afterwards. Alright, so that's how you use other setups as confluence to confirm your trading idea. Another interesting thing here are those heavy volumes combined with those rejections of this area. As you can see, those volumes are where the rejections occurred. And if you draw the profile over this whole rotation area, you can see that the heaviest volumes were in here, which worked as a strong support. Alright, this would be another nice trade based on combination of setups. Volume-based setup, this is the volume accumulation setup, combined with resistance becoming support setup. Alright, both setups show us the same trading level, the same support. Now let's move forward. In here, there is strong buying activity. Right there. And you've probably noticed that those volumes, this volume cluster, I mean the peak of those volumes, is at the same level as the weekly point of control. This is the weekly point of control, meaning that the heaviest volumes throughout the whole week got accumulated in here. Also, if you look closely, you will see that price was rejecting this area in the past. So this was strong resistance zone, and when the price went past it, it became a support. So what we have in here is first trend setup, second weekly point of control, third resistance becoming support setup. Three trading setups confirming the same level, which is in here. This is the reaction to the level. It's around 12 pips, which is more than enough for take profit for intraday trading. Now, in here, on the weekly profile, you can see significant volume cluster created in this rotation. Let me also use the flexible profile, like this. So, in here, heavy volumes got accumulated. This is the trend setup. Market's going downwards, and this is a volume cluster created within a downtrend. So this is the trend setup, marking the level somewhere in here. Now, if you look in here, and if you use the Fibonacci tool, like this, then you'll see that it's basically the ABCD setup. This is the point A, this is the point B, this is the point C, and when the price hits this level, this should be the point D. Alright, so in this area, there is the D point from the ABCD setup. So not only we have the trend setup, the volume-based setup, but in this area, in this general area, we also have the ABCD setup, which confirms this general area as a strong resistance zone. You can see that the price is not really able to go past this zone when it finally touches the level based on those volumes and makes another strong rejection of the level. Another nice confluence of two trading setups. Now in here, there is a rotation followed by a selling activity. So this basically is the volume accumulation setup. So let's use the flexible profile over this area to see where the volumes were the heaviest. It's in here. And you can also see that not only the volumes are the heaviest in here, but also this level is very nicely visible on the weekly profile, which is a confirmation of the level. If there are heavy volumes on the weekly profile somewhere close to your level, then it's strong confirmation of the level. Alright, so this is the volume accumulation setup. This is the confirmation from the fixed weekly profile. And also there is the ABCD setup. This is point A, this is point B, this is point C, and this line is the D. So A, B, C, D, and from here you go short. Alright, so this is the ABCD setup. As you can see, confirms this area, this strong resistance area. So in this case, we have three strong confirmations: volume accumulation setup, weekly profile confirmation, and ABCD setup, all pointing to this resistance zone. Now here is another significant zone. It is this rotation, this very long rotation, and it's again the volume accumulation setup. Also, volume is very nicely visible on the weekly profile, so this is definitely a very strong area. If you look at the whole profile, you can see that this is actually the point of control of the whole week, meaning heaviest volumes of the whole week got traded in here at this level. So, heavy volumes accumulated in here, selling activity. This is the volume accumulation setup. And also, apart from that, there's also the ABCD setup. Again, A, B, this will be C, and this will be D. Alright, so the ABCD points a little bit lower, few pips lower, and as you can see the price would actually make a very nice reaction to the ABCD setup in here. The volume setup is a little bit higher, the price would miss it, so you would miss the trade if you would try to enter at this level, but if you are trading using the ABCD, then you wouldn't miss the trade. You would have a winner from there. Alright, so another very nice confluence of the trading levels pointing us to a very strong resistance zone. And actually there's one thing which I absolutely missed. This level was a support, and when the price went past it, it became a resistance. So this is another confirmation of the level, alright? Support becoming resistance setup. As you can see, we had many confirmations of this resistance zone. The more confirmations you get, the better. Now in here, there was a trend setup. There's an uptrend. Within the uptrend, there is a volume cluster in here. Let me draw a line in here. This would be the level based on the trend setup. You can also notice that there was a rejection of this area in the past, indicating that this level worked as a strong resistance. When the price went past it, the resistance became a support. Also, the level is very nicely visible on the weekly profile. It is a very important zone if you look at the weekly profile, alright? You can tell that this is one of the most important zones on this profile. Another one would be this one, and another one would be this one. So let's have a look how this level worked. Yeah, like a charm. You can see all those reactions to the level, showing us that the sellers had really tough time pushing the price through this support zone. Actually, the price bounced 3 or actually 4 times of this level. Now here is a nice case of the trend setup in here. The heaviest volumes formed in this buying activity got accumulated in here. And by that time, the price was going upwards in here. The weekly profile didn't look like this, but let me show you how it looked like, alright? Let's start from Monday and let's end in here. The gray profile in here on the left side is the forming weekly profile. And as you can see, very significant zone was in here. Point of control was in here, but this was very close volume-wise to the point of control. Really heavy volumes in here, which very nicely confirmed this level. As you can see, again, the price reacted this level very nicely. If, for example, I wasn't sure whether to take this level or not, I would just have a look at the weekly profile, and if I saw this, I would be sure that this would be a strong support. So the confluence would make me more sure about taking the trade. Now, another place where the weekly point of control would be extremely helpful in deciding whether to take trade or not would be in here. As you can see, this is basically a volume accumulation setup. It's heavy volumes from which strong buying activity starts. So heaviest volumes were in here. Right now you can tell that there was nice reaction to the level, so it's easy to see it now. But let's imagine you don't see that, and you need to decide whether to take the trade or not. The downside to this level is that here is a very weak low, and it's pretty risky to go against a weak low. But if you look at the weekly profile, you can see that this level lies exactly at the point of control of the whole week. The heaviest volumes throughout the week got accumulated here. And this thing should tell you that this level is definitely a strong level to go long from. This is nice confirmation of the level. So if I wasn't sure whether to take this long or no, this would make me take the trade. All right? Now here is something you just need to trade. Extremely heavy volumes from which strong buying activity starts. This is a very strong case of the volume accumulation setup. For intraday trading, I would probably use it like this to look how the volumes got distributed before this buying activity started, right before it, in this little rotation, which would point me to this level. As you can see, the confirmation is here. This is the point of control of the whole week, lying basically at the same level as I would have from this area. So what happens next? The price goes back and reacts to those heavy volumes. So what's next? Now here is significant volume accumulation setup in here. If you look at the weekly profiles, you can tell that this is significant volume zone. This one, and this one. So if I draw the line here, this would be the place to consider going short from. The place where the volumes were the heaviest, alright? This is basically the volume accumulation setup. Heavy volumes followed by strong selling activity. So this indicates strong sellers building up their positions in here, afterwards pushing the price downwards. So you just wait for a pullback, go short from there. That's the standard volume accumulation setup. But if seeing heavy volumes on the weekly profile is not enough, then there is another confirmation which I can see, and it is the ABCD setup. This is the A, this is the B. From there, it goes to C, so A, B, C, and from C, it goes to D. So the ABCD setup points us to this level, which is a little bit below the original level we had, 5 pips below it. Alright, so it confirms the volume accumulation setup. As you can see also in this case, the level worked pretty nicely. There was nice reaction to it. Now the second significant volume cluster in this volume profile is this one. And let me use the flexible profile over this rotation area, which took place before this aggressive selling activity. And this is basically the volume accumulation setup, and you draw the line, the resistance line in here, where the volumes were the heaviest. As you can see, this level is also very nicely visible on the weekly profile, which is very nice confirmation of the level. And as you can see, it was a strong one. The price reacted very nicely in here, then went even lower. Also, there was a test in here, so there were actually 2 tests of this strong resistance area. Let me see, maybe there was also the ABCD setup, I'm not sure. Yeah, it seems it is. It points us basically to the same trading level. A, B, C, D. So we have the volume accumulation setup, we have the weekly volumes, and we have the ABCD setup, all confirming this strong resistance zone. Now there is also the third significant volume zone, but in this case I don't really see any of the setups which I trade there. So I would probably skip this one, but if you force me to trade it, then I would move the profile like this to see where the volumes were the heaviest inside this rotation area. I would mark this level. I would wait until the price went below the level, and I would go short from there. It would be a losing trade. Then, as you can see, the price shot past the level, so I would take a stop loss. Afterwards, the price returned to the level, and I would take a long from there. I would take a reversal, and the reversal would be a winning trade. What also caught my eye is this rotation before this buying activity. Basically, this means strong support. This is volume accumulation setup, alright? Volumes accumulated within a rotation before start of buying activity. So this would be support, which would actually be nice bonus to the reversal, because I would take the reversal here with stop loss around 12 pips. So it would be somewhere in here. Oh wait, not there. It would be in here. The stop loss would be in here, not in here. This is 12 pips. So this would be the stop loss, and it would be below this support. So this would be actually another support standing in a way, helping to turn the price in my direction. Alright, so that's how I would trade this situation. So what's next is this rotation in here, and this is the volume accumulation setup. The level it marks is this one. As you can see, a little below it is the point of control of the week. So this is the confirmation of the level from the fixed weekly profile. As you can see, the reaction to the level was pretty sharp one, pretty quick one. Alright, so let's move forward a bit. And let's have a look at this area. Let me zoom it a bit for you. This is another case of the volume accumulation setup. You can see that there were heavy volumes accumulated before strong buying activity in here. So if I draw a line to the place where the volumes were the heaviest, it's in here. And actually, let me look at the previous week's volume profile. And what I want to have a look is at this whole area. So basically I will be merging this week with this little part to see how the volumes were distributed in this whole area. So it's basically 1 week plus 1 day. Alright, so as you can see, from this whole area, the point of control was in here, confirming this level as a strong support zone. Alright, so we had the volume accumulation setup in here, very significant and strong point of control in here, confirming the level, and this is the reaction to the zone. Actually, in this case, if I entered exactly at the level, the price would miss it. But the point here is that this marks a strong support zone. Alright? Even though the price missed it by just a tiny bit, the next time the price could just test it, hit it, and then turn. Alright? So you can absolutely tell that in this case, what turned the price was those volumes. Now, strong selling activity like this is something you definitely want to look into. And what I do in such cases is that I use the profile like this to see how the volumes were distributed throughout the rotation before the selling activity. Again, this is the volume accumulation setup, the heaviest volumes being in here. And if you look at the weekly profile, you can see that it very nicely corresponds with heavy volume cluster in here. It's basically at the same level, almost. So what you do is you wait for a pullback to the price level, to this level, and you go short. Alright, this is the reaction to the level. Another nice confluence between standard volume profile setup and heavy volumes on the weekly profile. Now here is also another thing you can do with a rejection like this. You probably know that if you watch the previous videos. And the thing is that you can mark the place where the volumes were the heaviest within the rejection. In this case, it's in here. This is the most significant volume cluster within the rejection. This place is where the volumes were the heaviest. The level is also visible on the weekly profile. It's not that significant there, but it's visible. What I also like about it is that there were rejections of this area in the past, which indicate that this level was a strong resistance zone. Then there was this volume cluster created when the buyers pushed the price through this resistance zone, and currently when the price is above this zone, it will work as a support. So this is resistance becoming support. We also have the rejection setup in here, and we also have a small confirmation on the weekly profile right there. Alright, so those are the confirmations of the level. Let's now have a look at how it worked. Here we go. Very nice reaction, very sharp and very precise. Basically stopped this sell-off. It's just like the price hit the wall and it turned. Pretty cool, right? Now in here, there is a nice case of the volume accumulation setup. This would be the level to go short from. Heavy volumes followed by selling activity. You wait for pullback, you go short from there. Again, you can see that this level is nicely visible on the weekly profile, which is nice confirmation. Actually, the heaviest volumes on the weekly profile are a little bit lower. Those are in here. And those volumes mark the significant resistance zone, which is somewhere in here. Alright, as you can see, the price reacted very nicely to this zone. So if you took the lower level, it would definitely be a nice winning trade. If you took the higher level based on those volumes accumulated just in here, then you would miss the trade. By the way, one more thing to notice is this resistance level worked as a support after the price went past it. Right here, right here, right? Now let's have a look at this rotation before this strong buying activity. Let's use the flexible profile to look into this area and let's see what the volumes were the heaviest. Alright, so the volumes were the heaviest in here. So this line would be strong support based on the volume accumulation setup. We can also notice that this level is very nicely visible on the weekly profile. If you look at the weekly profile, the level is a little bit higher, but this is the general zone, so I count it as a confirmation, even though it's not exactly at the level. As long as it's like within 3 or 5 pips, that's alright for me. Anyways, there was strong sell-off in here, and the price just shot past the level. That would be a losing trade. So what you do when the price hits the level, goes past it without any reaction, you wait for pullback and you enter a reversal from the level. So that would be a loser from the long, but when the price hit the level again, you would go short and this would be a winner. Alright, so you would cover the loss you took from going long from this place. What is also quite nice in here is that the reversal trade got confirmed by the ABCD setup. This is the point A, this is point B, this will be the point C, so you go from A to B to C, Now you move the Fibonacci tool like this, and it will point you to almost the same level. This is the D. So you should go short from here. Alright, so you can also use the confirmation setups for reversal trades, like I just did in this case. Alright? Now let's have a look at this trend. This is a nice place to look for the trend setup. So let's have a look at how the volumes got distributed in here. Now in here, there is a strong volume cluster right there, heavy volumes here and here. And what I also like about this zone is how the price reacted to the zone in the past. It was rejecting this zone, so it was a resistance, and when the price blew past it, this resistance became a support. So currently this zone is a support, and when you draw the line like this from those heavy volumes, you can see how nicely the price reacted to it. So again, we have the confirmation of two setups. One is resistance becoming support, another is the trend setup. It would also probably be possible to go long from the higher level, from this one. Now it would depend on your stop loss, if this trade would be a loser or winner. If you entered in here, the price would go 9 pips against your position, which would be okay for me. My stop loss is 12 pips, so it would be somewhere in here. So even if I entered in here, it would be a winning trade. It wouldn't be as spot on as if I entered in here, but still, in both cases, it would be a winner. Now there's a little trick you can do when you are not sure whether to pick this one or this one. It's not always possible, but when there is another confirmation, you can just decide based on that confirmation. In this case, I see that there is a ABCD setup starting in here. So this would be A, this would be point B, this would be point C. Now you move it like this, and this would be point D, a little bit closer to the lower level. So I would probably tend to take the trade in here. Alright, but as you can see, all those setups confirm this general zone as a strong support. And that's what I want to demonstrate on this video. Now in here, I see nice rotation followed by aggressive selling activity. So this is the volume accumulation setup. Let's draw the profile over this whole rotation area to see where the volumes were the heaviest. Let's mark it with a blue line like this, and let's see how the level worked. Yeah, this is the reaction to the level. Pretty strong one. The price went 9 pips against the level aggressively, but then it turned and made very significant sell-off. I'm not sure if there was any confirmation of this level though. The weekly point of control was a bit above the level. Actually, it was quite close. It was 5 or 6 pips. You can also count that as a confirmation of the level. Also, another thing is that this is point of control, but those volumes are still pretty significant. So those volumes, this whole area, should work as a strong resistance. Alright, so let's have a look at another trading opportunity. This one was in here, volume accumulation setup, heavy volumes accumulated before strong buying activity. So this would be the long scenario for the setup. You would go long from there. I'm not sure if this was some macro news, probably wasn't. I'm not sure, it was a long time ago. But if you are trading that, it would be a losing trade. The price just went past the level without any reaction to it. So that would be a losing trade, and you would be waiting for a reversal. All right, so let's see what happened when the price went back to the level. All right, as you can see, there was nice reaction to the level, nice reversal. So you would have your money back eventually if you took a reversal from this level. Let me check if there isn't any confirmation of the reversal. Maybe there will be ABCD confirmation. Let me see, maybe from this point. This would be A, B. This would be C, and there would be the D. 5 pips below the level. Not bad. I would still consider it a confirmation of the level. So what I did here was from A to B to C to D. All right, that's the ABCD setup, confirming the reversal, which was 5 pips above it. Not that far actually. Now let's have a look in here. There is a strong selling activity, and within the selling activity there is a significant volume cluster. So this is the trend setup. This would be the level to go short from. What's very nice about it is this rejection of this level, showing us that it was a support in the past, and when the price went past it, the support then became a resistance. Alright, so this is the confirmation of the level. Also, the level is quite nicely visible on the weekly profile, and this would be the reaction to the level. Around 16 pip reaction, which is more than enough for intraday trade to take profit from. By the way, there are also significant volumes within this profile, those volumes and those volumes, but I don't really see any of the trading setups which I trade there. So if there was a trading setup somewhere in here or somewhere in here, the volumes would be nice confirmation, but since there isn't any of the main setups which I trade, I wouldn't be interested in taking trades from those areas. At least not intraday trades, alright? Maybe swings, but not intraday trades. Another interesting zone is this rotation, which is followed by selling activity. This is again the volume accumulation setup. As you can see, there are also very nice volumes visible on the weekly profile. So the resistance would be somewhere in here. Volumes in here got confirmed by volumes in here. And this is the reaction. Pretty spot on, pretty quick one. Painless reaction. There would be a nice and quick profit from this one. Now let's have a look in here, because there's another rotation followed by strong buying activity, another volume accumulation setup. Let's use the flexible profile so we can see where the volumes are the heaviest within this rotation. In this case, it is in here. Heavy volumes from the previous week are very close to it, so this is a confirmation of the level. But as you can see, there was only a smaller reaction to the level. It was only 7.5 pips, so this would be either losing trade or break-even trade, at least for me. I secure my position when the price moves 7.5 pips in my direction. In any case, this probably wouldn't be a winner. Well, actually, maybe it would. Let me see. Yeah, actually it would be a winner. Because 1152 is the entry, which means the 1140 would be the stop loss. And with 10 pip profit target, this would be the profit target. So actually, the price would go a bit past the level and then it would hit the profit target. But I'm not sure how this candle look like inside. I think most likely it would hit the profit target, then make this reversal. But We cannot be sure unless we look into the candle, for example, using 1 minute candle. I won't be doing this at this place since it's not very important right now. Right now, the important thing is confirmation of the setups and the weekly profiles. So let's just move on. Let's just have a look at another examples. Now here is nice volume accumulation setup in here. Massive volumes followed by strong buying activity, indicating strong buyers in here. Also, this level is very nicely visible on the weekly profile, which is a nice confirmation of the level. Then there is this crazy strong selling activity going past the level. But this was strong macro news. So you wouldn't trade during the macro news, but what you do is wait until the news and then you take a reversal from this point. You enter in the direction of the crazy news candle. As you can see in this case, was a very nice reaction, a very nice and painless winner. And another nice thing about this is that probably there is also a confirmation from the ABCD setup. Let me check. This point would be A, this would be point B. Then we move it like this. This is marking the point C, and this would be the point D, very close to the reversal level in here. So it's nice confirmation of the reversal level. A, B, C, D, short from there. So not only the reversal setup tells us to go short from there, but also the ABCD setup is telling us the same, which is really nice. Now in here, there is nice rotation followed by a strong and aggressive selling activity. Let's have a look if this level is visible on the weekly profile. Yeah, it seems it is. It's not that strong as those volumes, but still it's visible, and it's nice confirmation to see that on the weekly profile. So the level to go short would be in here. This is the reaction to the level, very nice one. Let me show you one more thing. Maybe you already saw it. After some time using the ABCD setup, you'll sort of develop a feeling for it. You'll see it on the chart, even if you are not using the Fibonacci tool. It's a funny thing, but it's how it is. So A, B, C, D. Very nice confirmation of the level. All right, so again, we have the level based on setup, based on our main trading setup, or one of our main trading setups, in this case, volume accumulation setup. We got confirmation from the weekly profile, and we also got confirmation from the ABCD setup. Now let's have a look at this place. This also looks like a nice case of volume accumulation setup. Rotation followed by strong selling activity. The heaviest volumes in this rotation were in here, and actually this doesn't really correspond with the weekly profile, but this profile is printed for the whole week, for this whole area. But at that time, when the setup got formed, the weekly profile looked exactly like this, with heaviest volumes in here, very close to our level. Alright, so at that time, this would be nice confirmation of the level. As you can see, there is very strong, very nice reaction to it. By the way, I also see the ABCD setup in here. Let me show you. This is AB. This is C. From C, you have the D right at the level. Short from there. Alright, so again, we have the level based on our main setup, the volume accumulation setup. It got confirmed on the weekly profile, and we got also another confirmation by the ABCD setup. Now in here, it seems like another volume accumulation setup. Let's take this whole rotation, heaviest volumes being in here. From there, strong activity starts, strong buying activity starts. It is the point of control of previous week. Oh, I mean this week, but when the price hit the level, it was the previous week. So anyways, weekly point of control, heavy volumes in here. So this would be the level to go long from. Unfortunately, as you can see, the price turned a little bit before the level, so you would need to discard it. The price turned around 1.5 pip before it, but still the reaction was pretty nice one. Unfortunately, it didn't make it to the level. Another volume accumulation setup which I see is in here. The volume accumulation took place in here. Then there was this strong buying activity, which is also in line with those strong buyers. And the level is also very nicely visible on the weekly profile, right here. So that's the confirmation you're looking for. Confirmation on the weekly profile. When the price gets back to the level, you go long from there. All right, very nice reaction in here at the end of the day. Now what I see in here is a weekly profile with significant volume areas. Those are very significant volume areas in here. I don't really see any intraday trading setups to trade there, but it would probably be nice levels to take as a swing trade. So let's just mark those levels and let's see how they would work, all right? Basically, that would be volume accumulation setup, all right? Volumes accumulated in here, followed by setting activity, then volumes accumulated in here, followed by setting activity. So first short would be from this level, second would be from this level. So the first trade would get missed by just a tiny bit. In here there was a reaction, but it came just a little bit sooner, just 1 pip sooner. So this level would get discarded. And what about the second level? The price went past it. As you can see in here, this was during FOMC news. This is exactly when FOMC event occurred. So there wouldn't be a short from there because of the FOMC news. But what you already know is when such thing happens, you enter a reversal. So you wait for a pullback and you enter a long from there, which would be a winner. All right, so the first level would get missed. You wouldn't trade the second one because of the news, but you would take a reversal from there. Now, another significant volume area in this weekly profile was this one. And if you look into this area, then there is nice volume accumulation setup. In here, there's a rotation followed by a setting activity. The heaviest volumes in this rotation are right there, confirmed by significant volume zone on the weekly profile, and also confirmed by this strong rejection of lower prices. This level is confirmed by the rejection. This was strong support, and when the price went past it, it became a resistance. All right, so all those things confirm the resistance in here. So we have the volume accumulation setup, we have the weekly profile, and we have the support becoming resistance setup. All those are saying to go short from there. Cool, right? Nice reaction. Now, what you can also do is look into this rejection of higher prices to see where the volumes were the heaviest. It was in here. Again, this is basically the same level confirmed by those heavy volumes, and also confirmed by this rejection of the level, pretty aggressive rejection right there, indicating that this was strong support. When the price went past it, it became a resistance. Alright, so currently it will work as a resistance. This is the confirmation of the level, and this is the reaction to the level. Again, very nice reaction, as you can see right there. Now let's move forward. There's another case of the volume accumulation setup I see in here. Volumes accumulated in this rotation, heaviest volumes being in here. Then there was setting activity, indicating that those volumes were volumes of strong sellers pushing the price downwards. So what you do is you wait for pullback, you go short from there. As you can see, there was some crazy volatility right there. And I looked at Forex Factory, and this volatility was caused by Brexit news. It was the Prime Minister May's speech about the Brexit, pretty important one. And as you can see, it was that important that it even moved the euro-dollar, even though it's not that directly correlated with the British pound, but still it made this spike. So if you are trading during this macro news, it would be a losing trade. The spike move would just blow past the level. But if you are more careful, as I advise you to be careful when you are trading intraday, you should be careful around the news. Hopefully, you probably wouldn't take such a trade. Because the news was announced. It was announced like 2 hours before it got out. Alright, so there was a way to avoid trading this. Now in here I see just small volume accumulation setup right here. This is the reaction to it. I don't really see any strong confirmation of the level. If I use the profile for this area, this is how the weekly profile looked like when this level got hit. There were actually some significant volumes in here, so you could count that as sort of confirmation of the level and go long from there. Alright, so there was some confirmation. Not that strong, the level was not as significant, but it would still be a winner. Now in here, there is a way more significant level. Based on the volume accumulation setup, heavy volumes accumulated in here, strong buying activity starting right there. So those volumes were mostly volumes of buyers who are pushing the price upwards, building up their positions in here. So the level to go long from would be in here. And if you look at the weekly profile, it's very nicely visible right there. This is the level. And you've probably also spotted those rejections of the level, meaning this was strong resistance in the past. And when the price went past it, it became a support. All right, so we have the confirmation from the weekly profile, resistance becoming support confirmation, and of course, the main trading setup, the volume accumulation setup, all confirming to go long from this level, to go long like this. All right. So in here, I see two volume accumulation setups. The first one being in here. Also, you can see heavy volumes on the weekly profile, so you would go short from there. This would be a profit. And another volume accumulation setup is in here. Let me just select this rotation. I'm interested in this rotation before the selling activity started. And as you can see, heaviest volumes are right there at this price level. If you look at the weekly profile, then it is visible. It's a little bit below this strong level. You can also see that there was a nice reaction to the level in the past, right there. This is just a small bonus, nothing that significant, but doesn't hurt. And what is also very nice about it is the ABCD setup. This is point A. This is point B. Now you move it like this. This is point D. All right, so from A to B to C to D. This strategy tells you to go short from this level. It's very close to our level, which is in here. Those two levels are 5 pips apart. And when I have two levels like this, when I have to choose, I always pick the level based on the main trading setup. In this case, it's the volume accumulation setup. So this is just a confirmation, but this is the exact value for the trade. All right, so I would definitely go short from there and take this level only as a confirmation. I wouldn't be entering short from there. This is just a confirmation of this general zone. It's telling me to go short from this zone. All right, the ABCD setup will never be as precise as the volume setups. Now in here, there is nice volume accumulation setup. Right there. Heavy volumes followed by strong buying activity. The heaviest volumes in this area are right there. If you look at the weekly profile, then the point of control of the whole week is in here, just a little bit below the level, which is nice confirmation of the level. So let's now have a look at how it would work. Here is the reaction. Seems that it is 0.4 pips above the level. Alright, so most likely this would be a missing trade. By just the tiniest bit, but it would be a missing trade. Alright, but still, as you can see, the reaction was there. It was pretty precise, pretty nice one. Only in this case, it missed our entry. Now here is another volume accumulation setup formed in here. Those heavy volumes formed in this rotation, heaviest volumes being in here. Also, if you look at the weekly profile, let me just delete this one so you can see better. Point of control of the weekly profile is in here. So that's the confirmation you are looking for. You wait for pullback, you go long from there. Another very nice and spot on reaction to the volume accumulation setup, which was confirmed by the weekly fixed profile. Now in here, there is another volume accumulation setup. It's a pretty big one. There is a big rotation followed by selling activity. In this rotation, most likely sellers were adding their selling positions, pushing the price downwards. Again, this zone very nicely confirmed on the weekly profile. This would be the level to go short from when the price makes it back to the level, all right? So we have the level, we have it confirmed from the weekly profile. So let's now have a look at how it worked. So the price shot past the level. So that would be a losing trade. Then what you do is you wait for pullback and you enter a reversal trade from the same place. You go long from there and you make your money back, all right, from the reversal trade. So this one would be a loser. Going short from there would be a losing trade, but then you would go long from there from the same level as a reversal trade, and that would be a winner. Now here is a strong trend, and when there is a strong trend, you look for significant volumes. Volume cluster in here. Let's draw the line where the volumes are the heaviest. Quite close to it, there is this rejection, meaning that this area was a strong resistance zone in the past. When the price went past it, it became a support. All right, so this is the level you wait for pullback, you go long from there. Let's have a look at how it worked. Right, here's the reaction. Pretty nice one, right? By the way, you can also use the profile like this for the whole trend. But I didn't do it like this because those volumes, which you see right there, are already tested with this rejection. So I'm not really interested in those volumes. That's why I draw the profile only like this. So I don't get distracted with them and to see this volume cluster, which still didn't get tested. Alright, so that was a trade based on the trend setup, confirmed by the resistance becoming support setup. Wait a second, maybe there's also a ABCD setup confirming the level. Let me check. So this was the level. A, B, C, D, exactly. A, B, this is point C, and whether a price hits the level, it is the D. Alright, so from A to B, from B to C, from C to D, long from there. That's actually a very nice confirmation of the trend setup. Now what I see in here is another trend setup. Right there is a setting activity and there is a significant volume cluster in here. Let's just mark the heaviest volumes. What I like about this is that the price is rejecting this area so many times. This was definitely strong support as the price bounced off this level so many times. Then the price went past it, making the volume cluster. So what you do is you wait for pullback and you go short from there. Why you do that? First reason is the trend setup, the volume cluster within a trend. Second reason is support, very strong support, becoming a resistance zone. Alright, so that's very nice confirmation of the level. Another nice trend setup seems to be in here. Yeah, very nice volumes created right there within this strong selling activity. It's also very nicely visible on the weekly profile. The volumes are not that heavy, but you can see it quite clearly, which is pretty important. So this would be the level to go short from. As you can see, the price returns back to the level, reacts to it, makes a nice reaction. Alright, so that would be another winner based on the trend setup, which is also confirmed on the weekly profile. By the way, let me go back. There was a significant point of control of the last week. Let's just mark it and see how the price reacts to it. Right there, this is the reaction to the point of control. I don't really see any intraday setups in here. So I wouldn't trade this as an intraday trade, but I think that this level would be a nice swing trade. To have a stop loss above this line, profit target somewhere in here, level based on weekly point of control. That would be a nice swing trade. Alright, but now we are talking about something completely different. We are talking about intraday trades, confirmed on the weekly profile, confirmed also by another trading setups. So I'll just leave swing trades for later. Now in here, there is a double distribution weekly profile, two significant zones. Let me mark them. The first one would be in here, second would be in here. I don't really see any intraday trading setups in there, but let's just have a look at the reactions to those levels. The first one, this is the first reaction. And those volumes, this is another reaction. So as you can see, the price reacting pretty nicely to those weekly profiles, to the heavy volumes visible on the weekly profiles. If you can combine it with some of your trading setups, then it's absolutely very nice confirmation and nice addition to your trading. Let's now have a look at the last example. Volume accumulation setup in here, heaviest volumes being right there. So this is a rotation followed by a selling activity. That's the volume accumulation setup. This would be the level. As you can see, it's also very nicely visible on the weekly profile right there. So what you do is you just wait for pullback, go short from there. As you can see, the price still hasn't touched the level, so maybe in the future we will see how this level will work out. Hopefully it will be another winner. We will see. Alright, so that's for the video, guys. I hope you like how I put all things together, looking at the confluences, looking at the weekly profiles. This is the way I trade. Hopefully you like it, you'll learn it, and you'll profitably trade this way yourself. Alright, so that's it for the video, and I'll see you in the next one.